What's up, guys? It's Lou from Unbox Therapy, and I'm very excited to unbox the brand new PS3 3D display with SimulView technology. I'm going to explain what that technology is in a minute, but first let's talk about what we've got included. We have an extra set of 3D glasses. On the outside of the box, there's also one on the inside of the box, so of course we can take advantage of that SimulView technology. We've also got a bunch of paperwork for you bookworms in the crowd. Just explaining how to charge up your 3D glasses. After all, they are active shutter glasses. They do require power, but it is nice to have rechargeable ones so you don't have to go looking for those watch batteries. So my Samsung TV looks for those. The next thing we've got is an HDMI cable. Hooray! Finally, the manufacturer has included an HDMI cable with your television. That is beautiful. I've been clamoring for that kind of thing for a long time, and we finally have it. You've also got a copy of MotorStorm Apocalypse. This is one of the few games at launch that supports that SimulView technology. I'm going to tell you more about that right now. What it does is it allows for two people to play a game locally, versus mode, and not see what the other individual is doing. Basically, it looks like they have a full one-player display, even though there's another person doing the exact same thing to the left or right of them. Crazy, right? No more split screen, no more half display. You see the full display, but you don't see what your partner is doing. Very cool. You've got the world's shortest micro USB cable included for charging up your 3D glasses. One thing I do want to mention is that these were pretty tight when I did use them. They're definitely not as loose as the Samsung glasses that I mentioned earlier that shipped with my television. So that's something to note if you've got a large brain. Anyways, the other things here are relating to the television now. And the first two components here are how you're going to mount the TV, how you're going to put it on its stand. I don't believe the television is VESA mountable, so you don't have any choices. It's going to go on this stand right here. And it actually feels super solid. There are a lot of metal components on here. This piece here is basically solid metal, so it's a fairly sturdy contraption when it's all put together, especially considering the screw that goes in to tighten it up at the very end, similar to putting together a computer monitor if you've ever done that before. There's a little bit more paperwork here regarding the television. I'm not going to bore you with that. And lastly, hiding inside of this piece of packaging, the power cable, the ever important power cable. So don't go worrying that it's not in the box. It's hidden in this portion here if you do pick up this TV. So lastly, we've got the display. I keep calling it a TV. It's really a display. There's no tuner for cable in here. You're going to have to use a set-top box if you want to watch TV on here, which most people have who have modern HD TV. Anyhow, after you get the display out, you notice it kind of looks like a giant PSP with the curved sides on it. I actually like the design. I think computer monitors, for the most part, are pretty boring. So this is a good way of spicing it up a little bit. So the last thing you want to do here after connecting the two components is twist this little screw until it's tight, and then you know you've got a nice lock. And then you just drop the display right down on the two components. You'll hear a click, and you're good to power it up. So I've got my PS3 connected here. The display is not super adjustable, just a little bit of tilt. That's about it. You don't get too much these days. Now here's a closer look in and around the display. As you can see, there's a nice look at that curved edge. The controls are all on the lower right side. There is no remote included. That's a little bit nuts. But these are a little finicky to use. I'll show you more about those in a minute. But this display is nice and pretty. It's real thin. I actually do like the aesthetics of it. You've got headphone out, two HDMIs, an analog audio in, and a component in. That's enough for most people nowadays, but it isn't a ton. But then again, this is not a super expensive television. So as you guys can see, the display looks nice. As I mentioned before, it's not the brightest I've ever seen, but there is zero input lag. Now that's important. It means it's going to perform really well. When you push a button on your controller, it's going to happen instantaneously on the display. So here's more about that menu system, which I found to be a little finicky. I really would have liked to have a remote included with this thing. That really surprised me. But anyways, you got to mess around with this crap here, and it ain't fun. I'm telling you, you got to kind of guess at what you're touching unless you fully turn the display around, which most people aren't going to be able to do. And it brings up this menu system up here, which, as I said before, is not the most fun. So get it set up the way you like, and then never touch those buttons again. Anyway, guys, I'm impressed. I gotta say, I've been looking for a gaming display with zero input lag that looks, a little bit more unique than a regular computer monitor, and this might just be it. And it does match the PS3 real nicely. So anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this content, hopefully you can like and favorite this video. As you know, it helps me out a bunch and helps me produce more content. As always, I want to thank you for watching. And other than that, check out the channel if you haven't done so yet. And until next time, I'll see you around. Later, guys.